YouTubers, welcome to Sharp Context Sports. YouTubers. So let's talk about Carolina Panthers after the Chicago Bears game, okay? So what do I think about this game? This is just typical of a young team who isn't used to winning. They're not at the point where they can string wins together. This is still a very young team. You guys got to remember that. Obviously, you can see in a lot of the mistakes that they made. Okay, so this Chicago Bears defense, this Chicago Bears team in general, is just full of vets. They've been there and done that. They were literally a field goal away from going to the Super Bowl, I believe. So this Bears team is a good team too, and their coach is pretty good. You know, people want to say that they don't have a quarterback, which is true, but they have a lot of skill position players. And Fall can do enough, you know, given that their defense is a Super Bowl caliber defense. That defense is going to keep them in games. Foles just doesn't have to, he just needs to not screw it up. I mean, Matt Rule in his post-game interview, I remember him saying something about the guys were just, instead of worrying about how to win this game, they were just trying to settle down. That's just a sign of a young team. They're still going through their growing pains, and they've vastly improved from everyone's expectations. And they've won more games than maybe they should have. But that's just what a young team is. Okay, a ascending team, a young ascending team. So if I was a Carolina fan, just don't put too much expectation on this team. You know, they're going to go through their growing pains. They're going to lose games like this until they find a way to win games and play more consistent. And they got to work on their red zone offense. And I believe that's more on the Panthers not actually having a red zone threat. Maybe once McCaffrey comes back, but that's a big if when he comes back. Because he's still just the only one. I'd like to see the Panthers go out and get a stud tight end. You know, because in Minnesota, Teddy was really reliant on a tight end. But here, it just seems like, you know, the guys just don't know what they're doing. They're not going to the right spots. The interception against to Patrick Peterson was the receiver just didn't run his route properly, and if he did, that was a good throw. But because he rounded out he kind of stopped, and he didn't take the right turn. You know what I mean? And the ball just kind of sailed over him. I mean, Matt Rule even talked about it in the post-game interview. He was saying how the guys just weren't running their routes. And he didn't name any specific players, but, you know, it's been a thing. Even with DJ Moore early in the season, he just wasn't running the right routes. Or he wasn't running them properly, you know. I remember the first few games, there was some times where he wasn't in the right position against the zone defense. And, you know, it might look like a bad throw, but it was more because DJ Moore was out of position against that zone defense. So with that said, I do think they should go get a tight end this year, hopefully, for the trade deadline. And I think this team is a bet-on team. Okay, once they start clicking this year, they're going to be hard to stop. Once they start scoring touchdowns instead of, you know, field goals, because I believe they can move the ball on any team. It's just scoring is the main problem. I think a tight end will really help that. And this defense has been really surprising. Like, Rasul Douglas is playing really well. Jeremy Chin's playing well. Brian Burns, when he's healthy. There's building blocks on this defense on both sides of the ball. So I expect this team to improve and get better as the season go along. And once they get more talent, this team is a legitimate threat in the NFC. And people are gonna bash Teddy after one game, but you look at Aaron Rodgers. He got pummeled that game. When there's no protection, you're not gonna look good. And if DJ Moore were to catch those catches, this game is a little different, right? So all I'm saying is Teddy is a good quarterback. Okay, once he starts scoring touchdowns in the red zone, everything will be better. His stats will be better. Blah blah blah. And quarterbacks have bad games. There's 16 games in a season. Not every one of them is gonna play at elite level or a good level every single game. It's a very long season. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. And like and subscribe if you want more content. I'll be breaking down the Saints and Panthers game sometimes in the next couple days here, so stay tuned.